Good morning, EBC kids. Thank you so much for joining us today. For the next 8 weeks, we will learn how to rely on God's power to defeat any evil. God's power in us equips us with everything we need to be heroes every day. We will see and learn that when Jesus is the leader and hero of our lives, we will be victorious. So welcome to our new series called Heroes and Villains.
Well, my name is Energizer Woman, and I take action to do the right thing right away.
How did you learn to take action?
Well, taking action to do the right thing isn't easy, but I know that God's power in me can help me, even when it's hard. And I guess I'd have to say that the story of Abigail in the Bible helps me remember the importance of doing the right thing right away.
Oh, well, I'd love to know the story.
Okay. Abigail was a wise and beautiful woman, and she was married to a man named Nabal. Nabal was rich. He had land and goats and sheep, but he was not a very nice man. Well, one day Nabal's servants were out shearing his sheep when 10 men from David's army approached Nabal, asking him if he would be willing to give them food and water.
What did Nabal say?
Well, like I said before, Nabal wasn't a very kind man. He yelled at the men and insulted them. He basically said that he had no idea who this David guy was, and there was absolutely no way on earth that he would give his food and water to people he didn't even know, no matter how hungry they were.
Was that all that happened?
No, it was not. David's 10 men left to tell him all that Nabal had said, and let me just say that it did not go well. David was furious, and he did not respond with kindness at all. He grabbed his sword and had 400 of his men grab their swords and follow him to Nabal's house. He had every intention of showing Nabal that he meant business.
Is that when Abigail decided to take action?
Well, not quite. One of Nabal's servants told Abigail what had happened. The servant explained how David and his men had always been kind to Nabal's shepherds and protected them when they were out in the field. But because Nabal refused to help David's men, they were on their way to attack.
Is that when Abigail decided to take action?
It is! Abigail did the right thing right away. She got 200 loaves of bread, drinks, sheep, roasted grain, 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs. She loaded all of that food onto donkeys to take to David and his men. Then Abigail sent servants ahead to let David know that they were coming. As soon as Abigail reached David, she fell on her face to let him know that she was so sorry. She knew that if she took the blame for Nabal's actions, David would not treat her as harshly as he would treat Nabal.
Then what happened?
David accepted the gifts of food and drink for his men, and he actually thanked Abigail for stopping him from killing Nabal. He sent her on her way with a blessing for her advice.
So, because Abigail took action, she stopped something terrible from happening?
Exactly. Abigail didn't just sit around and wait for someone else to stop David. She hurried to go meet him herself and talk to him about what he was about to do. Abigail's story helps me remember to do the right thing right away, and I know that I can rely on God's power in me to help me do it.
Abigail was probably afraid to approach all 400 men with swords, but because of God's power in her, she was able to take action. God's power in us helps us to take action too. Can you read this on the screen with me? God's power in me helps me take action.
My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. In the beginning, God made has changed, I'm forgiven and new. If people need proof, may they see it in me. Let's look the world in the eye. Let's look them in the eye and say, my God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. I'm not afraid because God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do.
Our Bible memory verse is from 1 John 4:4. Let's read it together. God's Spirit is in you and is more powerful than the one that is in the world. Next week, we're going to put some actions to our memory verse to help us remember it. Can you think of some things that we can do to help us remember this Bible memory verse?
He's the one who makes the sun shine. He's the one who puts the moon in the sky. He's the one who hung the stars one by one. He's the one who makes the birds sing. He's the one who makes your dreams so high. He's the one who makes me smile. Day by day, Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Better than Spider-Man. Better than Superman. Better than Batman. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Better than Bobby. Better than Action Man. Better than everyone. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend. Jesus, you're my superhero. You're my star, my best friend.
I sure hope you'll come back next week to learn about another Bible story and how God's power can work in and through us. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.